Use Shadow of Haste before the Eastern Solitary Dream Rider. Run into where the Reaper will spawn and activate the patrol by making all 3 Mind Blades spawn. Once all 3 have spawned, end Shadow of Haste with whirling and run all the way around. Go stand in shown position and wait with casting shadow form until the patrol arrives. If you have a bad spawn and are in aggro of the Solitary Dream Rider, you will either have to time your shadow form before getting into the position or start on the opposite side of where the patrol stops. After the patrol stops, you need to wait for them to start wandering around. This is the best time to pull them. Use shadow form, bow the group and cast Shadow of Haste somewhere halfway before the first corner. Make sure to run sideways or backwards. Once your shadow form is about 5 seconds away of being recharged, change to forwards running and use Heart of Shadow right before recasting your shadow form. This way you have the most chance of not getting interrupted on your second shadow form. The patrols generally break while running forwards, however it is seldomly a clean break. Therefore by running forwards you will have less Mind Blades on you to interrupt your shadow form. Once your shadow form is back up, let the mobs catch up to you by running backwards or sideways again. If your shadow form gets interrupted, do not panic. The only real damage you will take are the shatters and the degeneration. Do not attempt to cast anything as you will take massive damage from power spikes. Just continue the pull, and if you are about to die, end Shadow of Haste and heal yourself. Once into the corner, it is good practice to let the mobs settle before ending Shadow of Haste. This will raise the chances of a successful glitch significantly. The glitch will be successful if any, even just one mob, gets stuck into the corner. However, for safety you generally want the Mind Blades to be stuck. Once you finish the first glitch, you can move on to the second. Wait for the Dream Rider to die at Reaper spawn. It is possible to pull the Mind Blades into the glitched position from both sides. However, once they are settled at the Reaper spawn, glitching them pit side will be a lot harder. Glitching pool side is very similar to Big Glitch. Use Shadow of Haste somewhere halfway between the 2 corners. Use forward running and Heart of Shadow to recast shadow form and pull the Mind Blades all the way to the dead tree. Let them settle and end Shadow of Haste. If you are having trouble with skeleton aggro, just remember that their projectiles can be dodged while pulling. The quest itself is pretty straightforward. If you have winnowing, put it in the shown location. It's best to wait for the 2 horsemen to run into you instead of you aggroing them. Once you have aggro of the 2 horsemen and the 4 terror webs, ball up the horsemen. Make sure the terror webs are outside the ball as they need to stay alive to provide as fuel for whirling. Either use a vampiric scythe or the anniversary sword to facilitate the killing. Never use a staff during the entire quest, as this will make it possible for them to use Signet of Humility. Once both horsemen are dead, your side is finished. When you arrive in pits, you can kill the glitched collector with a right wall block and your anniversary sword. This will make the run slightly safer. Next up, you want to glitch the skeletons. Pull them all the way to the edge of the ravine. Jump down and pull the skells down with you by staying in their aggro range but staying outside of their attacking range. Jump back out or end Shadow of Haste if you used it before. If the top group spawned too close to the edge like this time, you will have to kill them as well. The quest can be fairly hard. Start by putting winnowing in the shown location if you have it. Use Shadow of Haste at the spot where the NPCs spawn and go take the quest when the T4 is ready. Immediately end Shadow of Haste and run to the backside. 3 enemies will spawn. Each enemy can either be a skeleton or a white rider. If you have 2 or more skeletons, it is recommended to use a ghastly summoning stone and use the nearby walls to block their projectiles. Once all 3 enemies are dead, you are finished with T3.